So I'm just going to do right now a really quick and dirty review of E-codes. And the reason I'm not going to really go into depth with it is because we'll be doing that later next semester. But I wanted to give you just a kind of a way that I developed to help people remember what kinds of E-codes you need to have and how many, because really from what we've seen, I think that everybody will agree, you could have a tremendous number of E-codes on an account or on a patient's chart, and sometimes you just don't know where to go with those, right? All right, so let's look at this. So first off, we have the way I want you to remember is we're going to go on a trip. So remember that we've got a snack for the road, and I want you to remember to eat your P's. That is right, I said P's. P stands for the place of occurrence. E stands for the external cause. A stands for the activity. And S stands for the status of the patient at the time of the activity. Or external cause. So what does all that mean? That means you need to have a code for each of those for each injury. Okay, now sometimes you'll overlap because you might have multiple injuries from doing the same activity. Obviously, when you have that, you don't have to repeat that same activity code all the time. But you do need to have all of these for each. That means you're going to have 4 E-codes. All right, so let's look at it a little more closely. So here's an example. Left injury of knee due to twisting movement while playing basketball at the YMCA gym. Okay, how the heck do you do that? Well, first off, we are going to what? We're going to do exactly what I said. We're going to list out all the problems we have. We know we've got an injury to the left knee. We know that it's due to a twisting motion. We know the patient was playing basketball. We know they were at the YMCA, and we know that playing basketball at the YMCA is a hobby because you're not being paid for it. Therefore, it is considered a sports hobby. All right? So, the first code we have to get is the injury to the left knee, right? That code that we're going to come up with is 959.7. Injury other and unspecified knee, leg, ankle, and foot. We can't get any more specific than that because we don't know what the injury actually was. We don't know, did they tear their tendon? Was it a sprain? Was it a fracture? Was it a dislocation? Dislocation. Little hiccup there. What was it that caused that? What is the nature of the injury itself? So we have to go with 959.7. The next thing we need to do is we've got to code that twisting motion, right? So that's going to code to E927.0, which is overexertion and strenuous and repetitive movements or loads, overexertion from sudden strenuous movement. Is a twisting motion not a sudden strenuous movement on your knee? It absolutely is. So you're looking for that overexertion code, and you know, what's the best way to tell you to find that? Let me think. I'm taking a peek in my code book here really quick, and I do believe that if you look for I would start with twisting first. RS. Okay, twisting. Yep, twisting injury. And it does tell you, it does say there, twisting injury, sudden strenuous movement. So you have to think about, you have to choose from, you have repetitive movement or sudden strenuous movement. And you have to think about this. When you're playing basketball, it's not a repetitive motion all the time. It's not the exact same thing that you're doing. Like if you were pedaling a bicycle, that's the exact same motion, exact same movement over and over and over, whereas basketball is different. So it's going to be that sudden strenuous movement. So next we have the fact that they were playing basketball. So we have E007.6, which is activities involving other sports and athletics played as a team or group, basketball. basketball. Now, let's go back here really quick. So far we have what? So far we have, where are we here? Okay, so far we've got our injury itself. That's an E-code. That's not an E-code. So far we've got our due to twisting motion. What is that going to be? Well, remember we have PEAS. We have place of occurrence, external cause, activities, and status. E927.0 is our external cause. What actually caused the injury that we talked about back here? It was the twisting motion. So that's our E. Now we've got our playing basketball. That's going to be what? What they were doing. That's their activity. They were playing basketball. So let's move on. Then we have, where were they playing basketball? The place of occurrence, our P. E, they were at the YMCA. That's going to come out to E849.4. Place of occurrence, place for recreation and sport. Now, obviously, when you look up in your code book, you are not going to find YMCA. But you have to know that what is the YMCA? Well, it's a place where people go for sports and to play sports and get exercise and get pickup games going and different things like that. So it's a place for recreation and sport. That's our place of occurrence. So far we've got our PEA. Now we've got to get our S. What exactly is our S? Our S is that it was being played as a hobby, which comes to E000.8. And I want to read to you what that one says. It says, external cause status, other external cause status. Now that's pretty non-specific, but if you go in and read the actual instructional notes and modifiers, it will say activity not elsewhere classified, activity of child or other family member assisting in compensated work of another family member, hobby not done for income. Is this person being paid for his basketball playing? No. Leisure activity. Is playing basketball a leisure activity? Yes, absolutely. Recreation or sport not for income or while a student. Well, it never said he's playing as a professional, and it never said he was playing as a student. Oh, excuse me. So, that goes out to a very generic code, all right? That leaves us with what? Our P's. We have E849.4, E927.0, E007.6, and E000.8, all in addition to our actual code, injury code of 959.7. That will be our principal diagnosis. Our E-codes are never principal, never, ever, 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 ever principal. They're strictly for additional information. All right. I hope that helped. If it didn't, let me know. But that's all you really need to know about codes, right? E-codes right now. Just remember to eat your P's, folks. Eat your P's.